What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Euro 24 Fantasy How to Play Guide. My name is Ryan from the Football Chatbox, and in this video, I'm going to show you basically how to play Euro 2024 Fantasy, how to create a team, whether that's on the browser or I'll show you how to get it via the mobile as well. We'll also show you how to create a mini league, how to join a mini league, and we'll also go through the rules as well. If you are new, welcome to the Football Chat Box. If you enjoy the content, please do leave a like and do subscribe as well. And let's get straight into the video. All right, now if you're looking to play on mobile, you basically need to go and download the UEFA Gaming app from either the App Store or the Google Play Store. And from there, you should be able to pick your Euro Fantasy team and also play various other games that UEFA have, whether that's Fantasy Football, Match Predictor, Tournament Bracket, Knockout Bracket. There are various types of modes as well. You can all check it all of that on the UEFA Gaming app. Just make sure it's the UEFA Gaming app, because I think they have a Euro app as well. So don't download that. Download the gaming app. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to showcase it via the browser just for ease of explanation. So let's go straight from the UEFA site. If you go to Google, type the UEFA Euro 2024 site, you'll be brought to something like this. And from here on the top, you guys can't see it, but the nav bar just above has gaming. Click gaming, and from there you go to fantasy football, and that should take you directly to the Euros 2024 fantasy game mode. As you can see, we've got a blank team draft over here. Now, for those of you who've played UCL fantasy, this game mode will be very similar. For those who have played, let's say, fantasy Premier League, it's slightly different with the additional changes of like slightly different chips. You have manual substitutions here in this game mode. So there are a few things that are slightly different. We'll go through the rules section later to kind of explain what's the differences between the two game modes. And if you haven't played any fantasy game mode before, and this is the first time you're playing one, well, don't worry. I'll explain the rules and how you can play your chips and how you select your team, all of that. And I'll explain all of that in depth in this video. Now, I'm going to autofill a team for the moment. As you can see, 15 players. You need to pick 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards with 2 goalkeepers, and you have a budget of 100 million. So I'm going to just autofill for the moment, just so we can get through the video as well. And I'll do a draft later on during maybe next week or the week after, in terms of like a proper UEFA Euro draft and like who you can pick and who you like, which players you can pick from which groups, which teams, all of that. Now, looking at the draft from the start itself, we got the likes of Mbappe, Thomas Muller, not too bad, Bruno Fernandes, Kingsley Coman, James Maddison. So a few things might have to change, because we're not sure with like Maddison and all, he might not be a starter for England. So a few of those stuff we might look to change about, but that can be done a bit later. And I've got a budget of 0.5 million left. So I'm going to click the continue button, and then the team switches like this. So as you can see, you've got a bench and a starting 11, and you should also have a captain. You'll be able to click on someone. Where is the captaincy? Interesting. Oh, sorry, I had to click continue again. Click continue again. So there you go. You can pick your captain now. So let's say I pick Mbappe as my captain. Now here's one thing that I should probably mention. Each match day, pick a captain whose score will be doubled. Now, if I was to just add the fixtures here and I put date, as you can see, Mbappe plays on the 18th of June. I should probably have said this with the subs as well, to be honest. Pick your starting 11. So let's start with the starting 11. In this game mode, you have the option of, let's say, I got Thomas Muller, right? They play the first game for the kickoff. If Thomas Muller doesn't do well and he just gets me 2 points, I can sub him out when the match day has started for another player on my bench. Let's say Barella can come on. And that way I can, if let's say Thomas Muller didn't do well, 2 points only, I know Barella is playing, I can bring Barella on before his game plays, and then he can get me points regardless of how many that is. There are a few conditions in terms of if a player gets a red card and all of that, then you can't sub them out, but I'll explain that in the rules. But that's just a simple concept. So the idea here would be where if you had players similar to FPL Challenge, where you start your play in your starting 11, you start the players who are playing earlier in the match day, and those who are the players on your bench would be players who are yet to play and probably playing later down in the match day. A match day is basically one set of round of fixtures. So basically round 1 of the fixtures, round 2 of the fixtures, that's a match day. So next step, captaincy, it's very similar as well. You can change your captaincy. So for examples, if I switch this to date, let's say for the first fixture, now obviously I had Thomas Muller. Let me go back for the sake of explanation. Let me put Barella back out and keep Thomas Muller. Now for captaincy, let's say I go Thomas Muller is the first game. I'm going to captain Thomas Muller. He doesn't do well. He gets me only 2 points, like I said in the previous example. Okay, I switch it to the next player who is playing the next day, which in this case would be Bergwijn. So I go, all right, Bergwijn, I'm going to switch it to him in terms of the armband. Now Bergwijn, maybe let's say he gets a goal, which is about 4 points and just 2 points for playing. So he gets 6 points. Now you have a decision to make. Are you happy to keep Bergwijn as your captaincy and just take those 6 points? Or do you want to twist, where you want to go to maybe another option? Now, let's say, for example, Kylian Mbappe is playing after that on the 18th. So you could go, all right, can Mbappe get more than 1 goal and the 2 points that Bergwijn got me? If you think that's a possibility, you can switch your captaincy to Mbappe. But you will obviously lose. So if Bergwijn had 12 points with the armband, he'll go back to 6. So his points will be halved. Because on a captaincy, you get double points. So you go back to the original points that Bergwijn had. Now, if Mbappe obviously doesn't do well, unlucky, you can't switch it back to Bergwijn. That's not possible. But if he did well, then you can keep it on him. But even again, just the same thing. If he didn't do really well, you can maybe switch it to a Bruno Fernandes. If you think, because Bruno Fernandes plays after Mbappe as well. So you could do that as well. Keep that in mind. So there is the option of captaincy, similar to substitutions. You can put it on the players who are starting early. If they don't do well, you can probably switch it to another player who is yet to play for captaincy. So those are a few differences between Fantasy Premier League and this game mode. If you played Champions League Fantasy, very similar. Now, we can give your team name. I am just going to go Ryan Football Chatbox. And we're going to save it for now. So that's my team. Everything looks good. I'm going to save it. Team has been saved successfully. And now, as you can see, you have the deadline. You can make free transfers because obviously the tournament hasn't started. We're going to go and now show you how to create a league and how to join a league. Now, if you were to create a league, you basically go to the league section, click create a league, and we're going to create the Football Chatbox league. No football. Okay. So as you can not add slashes here. Can I put brackets? I can. Oh. All right. This is Football Chatbox YouTube. This will be the mini league. I should actually put a dash instead. Looks a bit better, I would say. All right. This will be the mini league for the Football Chatbox league. So you can go, if you same thing for you, you can go and create a league. What happened to my league? Did it get created? No, didn't. Me. No spaces. Create a league. And that would basically create your league. This is the code, league code for anyone who wants to join the Football Chatbox mini league. That is the code that you can go and join. I'm just going to add it on screen as well for anyone who wants to join. Now you can see it on the screen as well. Make sure to join. The link will be in the description, but that's basically how you create a league. If you want to invite friends for it after you create it, just make sure to copy the code or copy the auto join link and share it with them. I'll do the same thing in the description so you guys can join this. And if you want to join a league, basically click join and just type the league code where I said football Chatbox. Type that league code and you'll click join and you'll be added to the league. If you're looking to start a league, same thing. If you want to create another league, you can do as well. So you can create more than one league. And also you can join a team league. So if you support a team, you can join one of their leagues. I could select a team. I could select a team to support, or I could even, if you don't want to select a team to support, you can also just remain a neutral. I should probably remain a neutral actually. So I will remain neutral since I don't live in Europe. And I'll join the neutral league. So that's me. And now let's move over to the rules. Now, just so I explained before, there are a few differences in terms of points compared to how official FPL, the Premier League, they do their points as well. This is just similar in terms of the positions. Goalkeepers, if they score a goal, they get 6 points. Defenders get 6 points. Midfielders 5, forwards 4. Similar to the FPL game mode. Clean sheets also, goalkeepers, defenders, and mids. Same thing to FPL. Goals conceded, similar to FPL. Penalty saved for a goalkeeper, 5 points, and every 3 saves 1 point. That's very similar to the FPL game mode for anyone who's played. Appearances, you get 1 point, and then 60 minutes after that, you get another point. Goals from outside the box, you get a point as well. That's slightly different. You don't get that in the official game mode in FPL. Player of the match, this is something you get in UCL Fantasy. You get here as well. So for anyone who gets the player of the match award at the end of the game, they get 3 points. Assist, 3 points. Ball recoveries. Now this is something that can be pretty huge, especially for defenders, center backs as well. If you played Champions League Fantasy and you've owned Matt Hummels, you would notice that he gets a lot of ball recoveries. Obviously now he's not in the Germany national team, but he's just an example of, even though a defender does end up losing their clean sheets, if they have a high number of ball recoveries, they're going to get a pretty good score. So keep that in mind. So you would want to pick defenders who have the ability to have high number of ball recoveries in a game. And here you get points also for winning penalties and conceding penalties, -1. Penalties missed as well, -2. So you have to keep those in mind as well. Like defenders who tend to concede very unnecessary penalties, points are going to be lost. So let's go into the full rules. Now, match day. Like I explained, you can make subs or switch your captain during a match day. So if I was to go back to my team, here, as you can see, let me sort this by date. I would put players who are playing first. Let's say, for example, Coleman is on the 18th. I can put Coleman, to be honest, on my bench because he's not going to play straight away. Same thing with Bruno Fernandes. He's playing later. Barella also, I can put someone else who is playing later. Cancelo, he's on the 19th. So I can do it like this. Obviously, you don't want to have 2 goalkeepers like here in this auto pick team playing on the same day. You would ideally want to have 1 goalkeeper playing on one day and another goalkeeper playing on another day. And as you can see, there is, let me confirm this. As you can see, the subs deadline. So you need to make subs before this game. So for example, I have Ter Stegen here who's playing against Scotland. If Ter Stegen doesn't keep a clean sheet, ideally I would want, let's say for example, I go and get maybe, who do I get? Let's say I get either Portugal's goalkeeper, or even for example, I go and get Spain's goalkeeper. I would go and make that move before the subs deadline. So keep in note for that. So if Ter Stegen doesn't do well, make sure you switch it out and get your next keeper. So keep in mind, don't try to have, if possible, try to avoid situations where your keepers are playing on the same day. That's one thing to kind of note in terms of fixtures. And also on your bench, put your players who are playing later in the match day. You can put them on the bench, and those who are playing earlier, put them in your starting 11. Same thing with captaincy when I explained before as well. Let's go back to the rules. Now, the other set, apart from match day and picking your squad, same thing. You have to keep in mind there are limits. Now, in the official FPL game, you can only pick 3 players per team, um, regardless of the game week there or match day in this case. But here, as the tournament progresses, you can pick more and more players per team. So when you get to the round of 16, you can pick 4 players, quarterfinals 5, semis 6, final 8. So you kind of want to pick a team, and you kind of want to know, you want to be able to have a good idea of which team you think will progress to the next set of fixtures. So the better your prediction is, the better chance you will have of having a team that continues to play. You don't want to pick the wrong team or hedge against the wrong team and then half your team is not playing in the next round. So keep that in mind as well. Obviously, managing your squad, I've kind of explained with regards to formations. Formations, you need to have at least 3 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 1 forward at all times when you're picking a formation. Captaincy as well, you can switch to another player who is playing on a later day within that match day. But keep in mind, you won't be able to change back like it mentions here. And if your captain doesn't play in a match day where you've made other subs, your captain won't be subbed out and none of your players will score double for that match day. So if you do make manual changes, keep in mind that when you do manual changes, it considers that you've involved yourself in that match day and then the game wouldn't do automatic substitutions. And also for captaincy, if you haven't changed your captain to, let's say, someone else who, let's say your captain doesn't play, if you haven't changed it, unlucky, because there is no vice captaincy in this game mode. So make sure you always select a captaincy who is going to play. Subs. You get to sub out a maximum of 4 players unless they've been sent off. This is where I said, if a player, let's say, has got a red card, you cannot sub them off from your team. You have to keep them. But let's say, for the example, they've just got 2 points or 1 point, then you can kind of sub them out and get someone else who is yet to play. Captaincy as well, you can change your captaincy, which was mentioned. And like I said, you can't change your captaincy to someone who's already played. It has to be someone who is yet to play as well. So you might want to keep, like, read through this, but it's, you kind of understand like what I mentioned already before. And yeah, once you manually make a sub in a match day, automatic subs will be disabled for that match day. So let's say, for example, you're used to FPL where automatic subs kick in and you don't, like, once you pick the team, that's it. You don't have to worry about it. You can be like that. So let's say, for example, you pick a team and then you don't want to about it for the remaining match day, that's fine. If a player doesn't play, they'll just sub out and another player on your bench will come in. So make sure in that case you order your bench according to priority. So like whoever's first sub, he'll be the first to come on, second sub next, third sub after that. But if you make one manual substitution, then it's in your hands. No automatic substitutions will kick in. Transfers. Now, before the tournament starts, obviously, you get unlimited transfers. During the group stage, after every match day, you get 2 transfers per match day. So after the first round of fixtures, you get 2 transfers to make any changes. Then the next, same thing for round 2 and round 3. And then before the round of 16, you basically get another unlimited number of transfers. Basically like another wild card for those who played FPL. This is so that, let's say, half your squad is out and knocked out from the tournament, then you can kind of reset your team. But from here onwards is where your prediction game has to be kind of on point. So you need to, when you're picking your team for the round of 16, try and pick teams that you think are going to progress further and further into the tournament. Because as you can see, after round of 16 and before the quarters, you get only a maximum of 3 transfers. So if half your team is eliminated, you're going to be in a bit of a problem. So try and pick players that you think will go through for the longer run in the tournament. So that's something that I will help you as well when it comes to the tournament as well. And then obviously before semis, you get 4. Before finals, you get 5. And you can carry 1 transfer only, 1 free transfer to the next round. So let's say you use only 2 free transfers out of your 3 in your quarterfinals. So in your semis, that way you'll have 5 free transfers because you carried 1 over. You can only carry maximum of 1 over. In this game mode, you have 2 chips. You have a limitless chip and you have a wildcard chip. Now, usually how this happens is a lot of players in these type of game modes, you get basically a wild card for round 1 before the game kicks off, right? So you can set a team up for round 1. What people will do is in round 2 they'll either play their wild card or a limitless chip. Most likely they'll play a wild card because they've got to see one round of fixtures of how all the teams are, who's like the gem that maybe we might have missed out, who is a must have, all of that. And they'll set a team up for match day 2 where they go, I'm going to either play my match day 2 team as this, where I'm just going to pick this team for match day 2 and match day 3, and they'll play their wildcard in match day 2, or they might even go when they are playing their when they're creating the squad at the start. If the fixtures are not great, now this is something we'll have a look at in depth a bit more later, but if the fixtures are not great, they might build a squad for match day 1 and match day 3, and they go match day 2, I'm just going to play a limitless chip. And the limitless chip is basically no budget. You can pick a team with no budget. That's basically what the limitless chip is. So it's like effectively a free hit chip in FPL, but with no budget. So they'll pick a free hit team for match day 2 or limitless team for match day 2, and they'll build a team for match day 1 and match day 3. And then obviously round of 16, you get your effectively a new wildcard, so you can create a fresh team. And then you obviously still have one more wildcard chip left, where you can go, let's say you unfortunately ended up on the wrong side of variance and you had a bit of bad luck in terms of predicting which teams will qualify from the round of 16 to the quarters. Then you have your wildcard chip left. You can play your wildcard chip and reset your team again. So there are a few different ways of playing the chip strategy, but you only have 2 chips to keep with you. So make sure that you make a note of that as well. And we'll go through like various chip strategies, what is probably the better way based on fixtures and players and all of that. We'll have a look later on. Obviously, there's still plenty of time before the tournament, and I'll create videos for that as well. Player prices will stay the same until match day 2 deadline, and then once match day 3 deadline has passed, some player prices will be adjusted based on their performances. They won't be the same, they'll just fluctuate a bit. Deadlines. Now, again, like I said, match day 1, 2, 3 deadlines are here. A match day is basically a set of fixtures, the first round of fixtures, second round of fixtures. And then that's the match day chips. Like I said, you have one wildcard chip, one limitless chip. Basically tells you what you can do. Unlimited transfers on the wildcard. You'll be sticking to your budget, whatever your budget is. And your team doesn't reset. Whereas the limitless is basically like a free hit, but no budget at all. So that's the only difference. And they've kind of explained to you what a limitless chip and what a matchday wildcard chip as well is. Points scoring, I think we kind of discussed this already, so I'm going to skip past this. Leagues, I showed you guys how to create a league as well. So that's effectively it in terms of the rules, how to play the game, how to create a league, how to join a league. Make sure to join the league as well. This picture will be shared elsewhere, and I'll put the auto join link in the description of this video and in the comments as well if anyone wants to join. And obviously in terms of how you pick your team as well, I will create a video with regards to drafts, like in terms of a best like a starting draft, maybe sometime next week, at the end of next week. And we'll also do a live stream as well where you can come and ask your questions and we can discuss in terms of which players we can get and all of that. And I'll do some research going into the tournament as to see which players or which teams have good groups of fixtures, which teams have bad groups, so which teams you would want to focus on and which teams you kind of should avoid. All of that, I'll be looking to making videos for that as well. Thank you all for watching. If you reached up to this point, please do hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, as we're looking to get to 1,000 subscribers. Can we get to 1,000 subscribers before the start of the new FPL season? With your help, it might be possible. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.